Many have tried and all have failed to create a successful spring football league. The USFL, the AAF, the XFL, twice. They all start with such hope and then flop. Be it bankruptcy,
I declare bankruptcy!
a global pandemic, or the apprentice himself.
You're fired.
There are a plethora of reasons why a spring football league just will never be able to succeed. So let's get into it. Before we get into the actual reasons of why a spring football league can't work, I think it's important to look at the spring football leagues themselves. We'll start with the original XFL. In 2001, Vincent Kennedy McMahon, chairman of WWE, launched a spring football league known as the XFL. Many believe it stands for Extreme Football League, but actually it doesn't stand for anything at all. However, Vince did say that if the NFL stands for No Fun League, then the XFL stands for the Extra Fun League. Plus, it was 2001, so the letter X was cool. The XFL wanted to separate themselves from the NFL to make it have more of a wrestling feel to it. This was at the time of the quote-unquote Attitude Era in WWE, so they were going for an edgier feel. We got harder hits, inside looks at the cheerleader locker room, and instead of a coin toss, there was a scramble for the football. The XFL had a golden ticket to fame because of their TV deal with NBC, yet they were only able to last one season. This was really due to a combination of things. If people wanted to see WWE, they would tune into USA Network and watch Monday Night Raw every week. This wasn't much of a football league at all. In week 1, Vince made a grand entrance.
This is the USFL!
The following week, The Rock cut a promo, and even JR and Jerry the King Lawler made special appearances. They also included storyline drama between football players. But if fans wanted to see that, they would follow what was going on between The Rock and Stone Cold in the WWE. Fans wanted a legitimate spring football league, but instead what they got was a horrible blend of wrestling and pro football. The players weren't really good either outside of maybe Tommy Maddox. It wasn't run very well between crashed advertising, blimps, and a power outage in week 2. It was just an overall mess. All of this led to ratings falling off a cliff after the inaugural week of the XFL. And all these things led to the XFL ending after just one season. But Vince just wasn't satisfied. He couldn't let this be the one blemish on his wildly successful career. So in 2018, Vince once again announced he was attempting a spring football league, this time actually focused on the football. Could you believe that? The XFL actually did some pretty cool things the second time around, such as the sky judge, the kickoffs, the 1, 2, and 3-point conversions, the shootout style overtime, which unfortunately we never got to see, and the punts, among other things. This league had a lot going for it. Attendance and viewer numbers were pretty good as well, even though they did start to dip toward the end. There was some hope for this league, but I guess God just doesn't want the XFL to succeed, as they were forced to suspend their season due to the coronavirus. Although Vince planned to invest up to $500 million into the league, he pulled the plug after week 5. I'm proud to say I attended an XFL game, and even though the stadium was pretty much empty, it was a great experience, and it was a shame that it couldn't last. But it's not just the XFL. I guess God doesn't want any spring football league to succeed. In terms of the AAF, this startup football league just lacked enough talent to keep the games interesting. Founded by Charlie Eberso and Bill Polian, the AAF kicked off on February 9th of 2019, just a week following the Patriots-Rams Super Bowl. The opening game was quite rough and low scoring, as the San Antonio Commanders defeated the San Diego Fleet 15-16. Opening weekend got modest ratings as it was on CBS. After the opening week, however, many games had to be found on places like CBS Sports Network and Bleacher Report Live. If you can't tell, that's a recipe for low ratings. To suit the needs of places craving a football team. The downside of this was that the ticket sales and ratings were not good for the AAF, as these small markets were small for a reason. Although the AAF produced NFL players like Greg Ward and Younghoe Koo, the fans wanted points and offense, and the AAF simply could not produce interesting games. The Orlando Apollos, led by Garrett Gilbert, dominated the league and likely would have won it all if the league completed the season. All of this led to the AAF unexpectedly filing for bankruptcy in Week 8 of its season, ending its short-lived span. The next and final spring football league we have to talk about is the USFL. This was definitely the most successful and competitive of all the NFL rivals since its merger with the AFL in 1970. If you want to know a little bit more about the USFL, click the link above. But anyways, I'll talk about it briefly here. The USFL actually puts out good games for viewers to watch, unlike some other sports leagues we've spoken about. The USFL lasted 3 seasons. After a solid first season for the league, they decided to expand from 12 to 18 teams, a move that was not very smart in the grand scheme of things. Many USFL teams were struggling and ratings were slowly declining. New Jersey Generals owner Donald Trump could be blamed for the league's demise, as he thought the solution to this problem was to move to the fall. Trump did not believe in a spring football league, and when the league attempted to move to the fall, there were no TV deals available for them, as the NFL was being broadcasted on nearly every single channel. So the league filed an antitrust lawsuit against the NFL, claiming that they were monopolizing all fall leagues. Although the USFL won the lawsuit, they were awarded just $3 with 76-cent interest. The USFL disbanded, releasing all of their players for the NFL to claim, and the league was officially no more. But that brings us back to the point of the video. Why can't a league like this work? Well, really it's a combination of a few things. A lot of these leagues don't have the financial backing to support it, especially the AAF. I know Vince said he would invest $500 million into the XFL, but clearly that was a lie, as they filed for bankruptcy soon after the whole coronavirus thing happened. Add in the fact that the players aren't very good and the games aren't very interesting, no one really wants to watch a blowout game every week or a very low scoring game. People want scoring. That's really what it comes down to. The players aren't talented. If they were, they would be playing in the NFL. There really just isn't much of a need for spring football leagues, contrary to the belief of many. So that about does it. A spring football league just isn't made to succeed. There isn't as much of a craving for it as people think, and the players aren't that good, the ratings aren't that good, and the attendance isn't that good. I think if a league like college were to happen in the spring, then I think, yeah, it would be more successful. Or if some college players wanted to get paid and they went over to the XFL, then once again, it would probably be more successful. But the games aren't interesting, and that's why it doesn't work. So that does it for this video. Please drop a like, share with a friend, and please subscribe if you enjoyed. It really helps us out more than you could ever imagine, and we really, really do appreciate it. I mean it. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.